Welcome back. In the previous two videos, we saw how to create two rigs, one an FK rig and one an IK rig. This video is going to be how to connect everything together. Alright, so in my outliner, basically I got all my controllers out and all my joints in scene outside of my actual grouping here because we're gonna start aligning everything together. So the first thing I want to do is just test again once more that everything's working. So I'm just going to grab my FK and then I'm going to grab my IK and just move them out. Now the system I'm going to show you is kind of different than other systems that you can see online. A couple of those other systems or require scripting or requiring drive keys. If you don't know what those are, then go check that out on other videos. In this case, it's basically what you do is use parent constraints and then use keyframes to kind of switch between them by using a channel that you create. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually use a method that I like better, which is kind of using the node editor to kind of create all the connections using nodes. So let's do that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my layout to 3 right, which is going to do this. And then the bottom part is I'm going to go to panels, panel, node editor. So I get my node editor here. I no longer need the shelf, so I'm going to just hold down spacebar, and in my eastern quadrant I'm just going to turn off shelves, and you can turn off any of the UI heads-up display like your toolbox and shelves and command line and status line and attribute editor and so on. So we're going to do that. Actually, I turned something on by mistake. I don't want to do that. There. Alright, so I get a little more screen space so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so what I need to do is basically grab all of my joints, and now this is where why naming is so important. Make sure that everything is named, so it will also be easier for you to follow what you're doing. So I'm just going to grab shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, and same from my other joints. Okay, so we got shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, and in my node editor I'm just going to press the little plus button over here so we get all of this come up. So because I kind of have an idea what I'm doing, I'm just going to do some stuff without really explaining why, but just so you can see how I approach this. So now I got all the joints I want to connect, so I'm just going to kind of align them to each other. So I'm going to move this. It's just the way that the node editor behaves. Just kind of try keep them in the same area that they were loaded up. So when I create nodes, it doesn't just pop to somewhere in space. So there we go. And then let's say IK is going to be on top. It could also turn snap to grid, which will kind of make things a little easier to control their positions in space. There we go. So we're going 2 blocks down, 2 blocks down, 2 blocks down. Yeah, let's do that this way. Yep. Yep. Dink, dink. Are these aligned? And I think we can just move them over 1 box. And again, I just do this because it makes my life makes it a lot easier to follow what I'm gonna do soon, just so you can get the idea. So basically what I've just created a stagger. So I got the IK here and the FK here, and then I got the ones I want to basically grab the channels that I want them to grab and blend into those same channels. So basically I want, let's say, the rotation of the shoulder on the IK and the FK to kind of control the rotation on the bind joints. So I didn't mention too much about this, but let's get into this. So what exactly are we doing? I basically have a chain that's got this mesh bound to it. So if I kind of rotate things around, you can see that it's basically squashing and stretching and doing all of that stuff because that's how I set it up. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a situation where you have joints that are driving the mesh, and that's why we have joints. But in this case, we are going to have these two different rigs pulling on these joints, and then we want to have sort of a connection between them. All right, so how do we connect it? So as you saw, I was basically joints. The best way to animate a joint is just change its rotations, and that's how we're going to connect everything up through its rotations, because that's the healthiest way to do anything in the regards to joints. Now, so basically, I need to blend between FK, IK into the rotations into the bind joint rotations. All right, said that, done that. Let's do that. So to get a blend node, what we need to do is find it. So if you press this little icon, it will open up Multilister, and we go down to Utilities. You'll see one of the first ones we come up is called a blend color node. If I press it, we'll create it over here. And this node, basically, if I go Control A, you'll see it has two colors and a blend option. And basically what we're going to do is pipe in the IK into 1 and the FK into 2, and the blend will go into the bind joints. All right. So let me just undo that and just Control A that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. I'm going to duplicate this 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then rename these, and when I come back, we'll start connecting. Okay, we're back. So I just renamed them. Each one is going to be the same name or in conjuncture to the actual bone that I've made. So I've got a shoulder. I'm going to connect to the shoulder. So let's just start connecting. So I'm going to click on this little green circle over here. I'm going to scroll down to rotate, choose the rotate, and then connect color. Now don't mind that things just jump off screen. That's just the way that Maya works. I don't know why it does it, but it just does it. So we'll sort that out later. And then color 2. So we have color 1. Just do this once so you can see the streaming of this. All right, so we have from each one, the rotate is coming out. All right, so we have from each one of these, a rotation is coming out, and it's going into the color 1 and 2. So that's what we want to do. All right, so next one up. So we're going to go rotate, rotate to rotate, color 1, next one up, rotate to rotate, color 1, and rotate to rotate, color 1. Now we do the other side. We do all the FKs now. Rotate to rotate, color 2, rotate to rotate, forearm to forearm, color 2, and wrist, rotate to rotate to wrist. Alright, so all I need to do now is just organize this mess. this and just move it out. And grab these and move them out. There we go, something like that. So you get a very good idea of how things connected. All right. Now you could probably make a better connection field for this, but I find that this helps me. All right. So from here, I just need to take my blender to my rotation. Come on, to rotate again. I'm gonna grab. Out color to rotate. Alright, I think we have to pull this a little further down. There we go. Alright, so we want output to rotate. Output to rotate. And let's grab these over like that. And output to rotate. So if I now grab this and just pull the blend, you'll see that's going to blend between those guys. All right, so how do we control all of this? We'll see. Yep, let's just do that now. Now I need to basically control each one of these blend nodes from one place. So I got this curve that I made, and as you can see, it's got scale, rotation, visibility, but it doesn't have an FK-IK channel. So I have to make one. So that's very easy to do. Just select your curve that you want to use. You go to Modify, Add Attribute, and we're going to write here, make sure it says float. So we're going to go IK, FK, and if you want a space between, you got to put an underscore. All right, FK, IK, and then we'll put it at minimum 0, maximum 1, and it's my default 1. All right, so we're going to add that, and you'll see it's going to add a channel here. And now I'm going to load that into the scene. So I need to just press this plus button here. Make sure you press the plus button, and you'll see two nodes will come in. One's a shape node and one is the position node. We want the position node because that's where we added our attribute. And if I press this, you'll see it gets a very long list of attributes. What I can do is just write IK, and then I just get the one attribute that I want. So let's just do that like that. And all I need to do is connect to blend, 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 and blend. And now you'll see that this is going to blend by default. And there we go. We're blending between the FK, IK. Alright, so I'm going to wrap up this video, and in the next video we'll finish up the rig by just tidying up our outliner and making sure that everything moves correctly. So see you in the next video.